quick breakdown. This is a good fight. I don't think it's as good as, let's say, Hopkins versus Jermaine Taylor at middleweight. I don't think it's a Hagler or Hearns or a Hagler versus Mugabe, Michael Nunn versus Kalambe, a Mike McCallum versus Tony, Mike McCallum type fight. No, I don't think it's in that league. Ben McLennan, no. But nevertheless, it's a good middleweight fight. Daniel Geale is a well-schooled fighter. A nice guard, protecting the jaw. He doesn't come in straight lines, at least not all the time. But he's not slick. He's not slick, you can clearly see that. The way he was easily drawn into warfare with Darren Barker and surrendered his title. You know, tactics. He's gonna try and wage this campaign on being clever, like picking Golovkin's leads, his jabs off on the gloves, picking them off, and then he's gonna try and be the first guy to back Golovkin up, at least since Kasim Umar. And he's gonna try and use his hand speed and his fitness. He's going to try and make Golovkin uncomfortable in there. That's what he's going to try and do. In terms of pressure, he's going to probably try and take the power away by smothering it out. I'm not sure if that's the way to beat Triple G. Because Geale, like I said, he's clever, good boxer, but he's not a slickster. He will stay in the pocket, let's say, 2 or 3 seconds longer than a Hopkins or a Floyd, which always puts you in danger. Even against non-punchers, it puts you in danger. One thing about Geale, what gives him a good shot in the fight, even though I don't think he's going to win it, is he's going to come out with a very positive mind state, and he's going to try and be first. He's going to try and beat Golovkin to the punch, and he will succeed at that. And that's where he's going to give Golovkin a lot of trouble, by being first, you know? I think they've got one common opponent, and that's that Adamu. Is it Adamu? The Ghanaian. And he took Geale the distance, and Geale didn't look too thrilling in that, but then again, neither did Triple G when he stopped him late on. People are underestimating Geale's power. He can punch. You saw the force behind the shot that decked Darren Barker, the body shot, and he hit Garth Wood, even though he's not no great world-class opponent, with some really hard headshots too. He hits hard enough that Triple G just can't afford to walk through. He's going to have to work for his openings, but he'll do that. This is going to be Triple G's hardest fight. He's not going to get Geale out of there with one shot. He's going to have to wear him down, you know. I know you guys think that he's Superman, but he's not really. He's a good fighter, but he's not Superman. And eventually, some of you who don't know much about boxing, you're going to learn that he's been getting a lot of these KOs because the opposition just hasn't been up to scratch, and a lot of times they've been light middleweights and basically not world-class fighters for the most part. It's the truth. One of his best challenges was Gabe Rosada, and you guys were screaming when Gabe Rosada was nominated to fight Peter Quillen, and Peter Quillen beat him, you know? And that's one of Triple G's best opponents, apart from Kasim Umar, who was a little past it, but he gave Triple G a very hard fight. So I expect Triple G to prevail in this one. I think the power should tip it in his balance. If Geale has got the heart, he could go the distance, but I've got this one as I'm gonna stick with the distance. I'm gonna stick with the distance fight. If Triple G gets it done inside the distance, I'll be very impressed. This is a great matchup between two world-class middleweights. Triple G being the WBO champion, Daniel Geale being a former, IBF champion. Daniel Geale, like I said, good fighter, but he's not top draw world class. He is world class, but not top draw. He's not a slickster. He's tough, he's strong, he's clever, he's well schooled. And if the power was even, I might even tip him to win it. But the extra power, I'm going to throw in Golovkin's favour. Geale might surprise us and attack the body. No one's really went to the body on Triple G, and Geale can crack to the body. And let's see if Triple G can deal with some circumstances that he wasn't bargaining for. Let's see if Geale can actually produce some circumstances. I'm looking forward to this one. It should tell us quite a lot about Triple G. It should tell us quite a lot. If either man is victorious, they definitely make a claim for being the top 160 pounder right now. Triple G comes from Kazakhstan. Daniel Geale is from Australia. Not the most popular boxing nations. So the fighters went under the radar a little. Maybe unfairly. But, you know, they can use this to springboard themselves into some semblance of stardom. Of course, it would have been a better fight if they had fought while Geale had his belt. I don't know why they didn't. And I don't know why boxing is always in hindsight. Why wait so long when the fight has less value now? You know, you could have done this when both men had belts. I don't get it. The one thing in the back of my mind, and I don't want to be in hindsight when the fight finishes, is I'm reflecting back on how hard the Darren Barker fight was for Geale. It was extremely hard. And I remember saying that this fight could potentially blunt both of their careers. And if we look on how Darren Barker surrendered his IBF title to Felix Sturm, I was right on that account there. And Geale has had one return fight since then against Garth Wood. Garth Wood, you know, not world class. Let's not sleep on the fact that that was a punishing battle, and we don't know what the after effects are yet for Daniel Geale. Some people have said they're too reserved, too nice in the build-up, too respectful of each other. But I don't agree in fighters, or boxers. Let's stop calling them fighters. I mean, boxers trying to rev things up and amp things up and trying to be something that they're not just for ticket sales. If they can't sell the fight on the credibility of the matchup, then that just exposes the matchup, in my opinion. You know? Let's do it, man. Let's do it. It's a good fight. Peace.